What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how you can get your jumps to hit like Wheezy. That's a little pattern right here, I'll just play it for you guys. So right now it's pretty boring. There's nothing really to it, like nothing's really hitting or anything. We're just gonna spice this up. So now we're just gonna go to the mixer so I can show you guys the first step, which is to add a soft clipper on your master. I can't preach this enough because this is what will allow you to get away with that hard clipping, because let's face it, clipping is a part of trap music. Like, I know a lot of you guys will be like, oh, your mix is clipping this and that, but you guys need to realize that this is literally a part of trap music. Most of the songs that you hear in playlists, whenever the producer was making an FL, like that shit was clipping hard as fuck. Like, I promise you, like there's no way to avoid it without getting your drums to hit. Clipping isn't necessarily bad, it's literally a part of trap now. What I like to do as well is, this is optional, but I like it to add an EQ and boost the high end just a little bit. So you just boost it just to give the drums a bit more crisp. Okay, so we're far from finished right now. Like all we did was lay the foundation for the rest of the mix to just hit. So the first thing you want to do with the 808 is you want to turn it up in here. It's a lot better, but it's not hitting how we want it to. So one thing that Wheezy does a lot is he uses a lot of short 808s. So how we're gonna do that, how we're gonna make it short here is we're gonna take the out knob and we're just gonna drag it in. As you can see, like it just made it hit even less hard despite the fact that we just turned it up in the channel rack. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go right here on this button here. It's the effects target, apparently that's what it's called, but you go here and then turn up the EQ knob. Like these two knobs right here are your best friend. Like personally, I like to turn the EQ knob when I mess with the 808 because the boost knob it's a little too sensitive. Like if you turn it up a little bit, you see like it works, but I don't know, I just like to do the EQ now because it's like the safer route. Slapping. This is also part of the reason why Wheezy doesn't use a lot of kicks, because when you turn up the 808 like that, it kind of makes it sound like a kick itself because it slaps so hard. So that's all for the 808. So now what you can do with the hi-hat is, Wheezy sometimes he likes to make it tighter and he likes to mess with the pitch as well in here. He doesn't always do that though. With me, I'm just gonna do it with this beat so I can show you guys like the difference. So, like this is when it's not, when you haven't messed with the out knob at all. And if I just gradually make it tighter as we go, like you can also mess with the pitch here. Like for example, me, I like to turn it down like 2. One other thing you can do to the hi-hat as well is add a reverb to it. So I turn the low cut all the way down and I just make it super like super wet. Just turn on the delay. And I just turn down, I also turn on the kick here. And then you turn on the overall mix right here. So just barely there. So this is with it. I'm just gonna turn it off midway. Like it kind of like fills in the space in a way. So yeah, that's a dope trick that he does as well. So then with the clap, turn it up loud. I just noticed a problem with the melody. It's not loud enough, so we're gonna turn it up. And now I'm gonna add an EQ to the melody, and we're gonna EQ out the low end just in case, because we just turned up the melody pretty high, so we don't want it to mess. I mean, there's not much low end either way, but you know, it's just most of the time you're gonna have to do it anyway with melodies, because a lot of the time they're gonna have low end. A lot of it is just twisting the knobs, you know, just messing with it until it's to your taste, fucking with the buttons and shit. Like literally, like that's all I do. So at the highest frequency right here, like this is basically like only the hi-hat. So this is how you would turn up, like make it more crispy. So you just go here and you that's pretty much how you make the drum slap when you don't have a kick. Now, there are some beats where Wheezy actually does use a kick, so I'm going to show you guys an example for that as well. In this beat, I didn't want to use a kick, so this is just like the mix if Wheezy weren't to use a kick. But I can also show you guys how he does it when he uses it. I'm just going to show you guys real quick. Alright, man, so we're back in another project, and I'm just going to lay the kick down real quick. So right now, as you can hear, like the kick is kind of buried under the 808. It's not really in yet. It's kind of just there. So one thing that I do with the 808 when I add a kick is that if I'm adding a kick, I don't really like to boost the 808 too much, because I want to leave room for the kick to hit without it clipping too hard. Because yes, I did say that clipping was good, but you don't want it to clip to the point where it's like extremely distorted, unless that's the sound you're going for. In this case, it wouldn't really make sense with it. I also don't make the 808 too short either, because the kick, a longer 808 sounds better. Whenever I add the kick, I don't actually touch this knob right here or the velocity or anything like that. I go to this knob right here. So you click on the sound and on the wrench tool here, and you'll see this knob, and I use this one because this one can turn it higher than anything else in FL. Like right here, you see I just turned it up by 21.6 dB. So like, yeah, it gets pretty loud. So be careful when you're messing with this knob to not like blow out your eardrums or something. So I'm gonna turn it up gradually until I get it to hit how I want it to. Man, that's literally the only difference with this mix. When I add a kick, it's just turn down the 808 a bit less. I don't make the 808 hit as hard as it does when it doesn't have a kick, and I just turn the kick up hella high. But depending on the kick that you're using, you might not have to turn it up as high as I am. So if anything, like if you don't have to turn it up this high, you guys can use just the regular knob here. So yeah, another cool trick that you can do is you can delay the hats, like kind of make it off beat a little bit, but like not off beat to the point where it's like completely off beat. So you go in FL, actually double click the sound and you go to the wrench tool once again. You'll see over here there's a time section, and the shift button, basically what it does is it can shift the hi-hat slightly off beat. To show you guys what it does. Like yeah, so that's a really cool trick that can make your drums hit different. The reason why it makes it hit harder is because when you shift it, you're kind of like giving more room for the kick to hit. So like the hi-hat isn't hitting at the same time as the kick. Like if I turn it down, it hits different when you delay the hats, because you can actually hear the kick clearly. So that's pretty much how you get your drums to hit like Wheezy. It's just a lot of all you gotta do pretty much for the most part is turn up the 808 and make the drums really crispy. So that's about it. But if you learned anything from this video, be sure to like, subscribe if you're new.